Alright, hi everybody. This is T-Fig from T-Fig Bass Player. I wanted to talk to you about some similarities between New Edition and The Temptations. Okay, first, is that the New Edition and The Temptations groups both started out as young groups. Okay. The second thing I want to mention is that Ralph Tresvant, who was the leader and the lead singer of the New Edition group, and Otis Williams of the Temptations were both loyal members of the groups and wanted to keep them together. Okay. The third thing I want to mention is that Johnny Gill of New Edition ends up replacing Bobby Brown of New Edition, and this is when Bobby Brown wanted to start going solo, being on his own. Okay. With the Temptations, they had David Ruffin, who was their lead singer for a long time, but he started to get into drugs and getting into trouble, and eventually the Temptations ended up kicking him out of the Temptations group, and Dennis Edwards ends up replacing him as the lead singer. Okay. Well, as the years passed, the New Edition members eventually formed a group, Bill Biv DeVoe, and the Temptations also separated for a while, and Eddie Kendricks and David Ruffin began singing as a duo, but I think they still were using the Temptations names as well. Alright, and at this point, Dennis Edwards was lead singing the Temptations. Alright, the fifth thing I want to mention is that New Edition and the Temptations, both groups are still together today. Okay, now the New Edition recently are still around, but their members are kind of broken off on their own and have formed Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, and yet they are still performing. The Temptations are still around today as a group and are still singing as well. Alright, well, that's about 5 similarities I wanted to mention to you about the New Edition and the Temptations. Alright, thank you everybody for joining me, and if you like what I'm talking about, please look at the other videos I've made, and please subscribe. Alright, thank you very much everybody.